Hello, Greenstylers. Cynthia here, and today I will be sewing up the Youth Excel with you. This is a fun and super easy shirt that I think you'll really enjoy sewing and your kids will love wearing. So grab your pattern and supplies and let's get started. Here are the pieces you'll need to cut in order to make your Excel raglan shirt. You'll need one of piece B1, which is the front. Cut either on the fold or as a full piece if you're using the projector version. There are two notches on this piece for you to either cut out or mark. Those will match up with notches on the sleeves. You'll need one of piece B2, which is the back, and again cut either on the fold or if using the projector you can cut it out as a full piece. Double notches on this piece that you'll either cut out or mark, and those will eventually match up with the sleeve. And speaking of the sleeves, you'll need to cut two of them labeled piece S1. These pieces also have those notches that will match up with the front and back bodice. They also have circle markings which will match up with the gusset, so make sure to mark those as well. Cut the long sleeves like I did or use the short sleeve cut line for short sleeves. Cut one neckband which is labeled piece C1. Cut two gussets as mirror images. You'll either use piece B3 like I did for long sleeves or piece B4 for short sleeves. And be sure to transfer the circle markings from the pattern piece onto your fabric. These will help you when it comes time to attach the gusset to the shirt. To begin construction, we'll need our front piece and our sleeves. Begin by making sure that those notches are visible on your front piece. Mine are marked on the back, so I'll go ahead and stick some clips there so that they're more easily seen. Bring over your sleeve piece and find the side with the single notch because the single notch is the one that matches up with the front piece. Match up the single notch on one sleeve with the single notch on your shirt and pin that entire arm side. Bring over your other sleeve, find the single notch, match it up with your other front arm side single notch, and then pin the rest of the arm side. We'll take this over to the sewing machine or serger, and we'll stitch these two seams with a stretch stitch or serger and a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Now that the sleeve is stitched to the front bodice, you'll want to open up those sleeves so everything is face up. We'll be working with this seam here, which runs the length of the underside of the front of the sleeve all the way down the side seam of the front piece. And this is where we'll attach the gusset. Find the circle mark on your gusset piece and mark it, and then find the circle mark on your sleeve piece. Make sure that is marked as well. Match those two up and align the gusset with right sides facing the front of the shirt and pin all the way down that long seam. Repeat with the other side. You may find it useful to straighten out that angle where the sleeve meets the bodice. Just arrange it so that you sort of straighten it out, and that will make it easier to attach that gusset. Stitch these two long seams with a stretch stitch on your sewing machine or your serger and a 3/8 inch seam allowance. And here's how it looks so far with the front and the gusset that we've attached on one side and the same on the other side. Find the two arm side points on the sleeves. This is where we'll be attaching the back bodice. So bring your back bodice over, and there's the neckline of the back bodice. Flip it over so that it is right sides facing and find the armscye on the back bodice. Find the double notches on the sleeve and match it up with the double notch on the back bodice. Pin in place. Find the armscye and the double notch on the other sleeve. Then you'll need to bring the back bodice over so that you can match up those double notches and pin along the armscye. Stitch these two seams using a stretch stitch on your sewing machine or your serger in a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Now we can see that the sleeves are attached at the front bodice, and turn it over and see that they are also attached at the back bodice. The next step will be to pin and stitch those long side seams from the wrist all the way down to the bottom of the shirt. Stitch these two long seams using a stretch stitch on your sewing machine or your serger in a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Now that the majority of the shirt is constructed, we'll need to attach the neckband to that neck opening. I like to create the crease on my neckband before stitching it. What I do is fold the neckband in half like so, with wrong sides touching and aligning the long edges, and give it a nice press, being careful with fabric not to burn it. So when you're ready to stitch it, fold it in half, aligning the short edges, and stitch 3/8 of an inch away from the edge. You can use a serger or a straight stitch. I do like using a straight stitch here because then you can open up the seam when you fold the neckband, but if you use a serger like I did, you can clip into the seam, just being careful not to clip that left needle thread, and that way you can nest the two parts of the seam next to each other so it's not quite so bulky at that seam. Fold your neckband in half with wrong sides together and then quarter the neckband. And now you need to quarter the neck opening. Find the front and back center points and then pin those together in order to find the other two quarter marks. And now you need to pin the neckband to the neck opening with right sides together, and you'll start by finding this seam on the neckband and pinning that to the center back of the shirt. Then find the other 3/4 points and pin those as well. Again, aligning raw edges and with right sides together. Neckbands can be tricky, so I always advise basting it on first and then taking a look to make sure you like how it looks before finishing it off. Once you're satisfied with the look of your neckband, you can finish it with a stretch stitch on your sewing machine or your serger in a 3/8 inch seam allowance. And the final step is to hem the bottom and the sleeves. The pattern calls for a 1-inch hem, so I like to draw a line up from the edge that's 2 inches away, and mine has faded a bit with ironing, but once you've drawn that line, you can fold the edge up to the line and have your 1-inch hem. Today I was living dangerously and I just ironed my hem, did not follow up with pins or clips. Of course, you can always add pins or clips down there to secure your hem, or you can be footloose and fancy free like I am and simply iron it and use that crisp edge as your guide. I am using my cover stitch today to finish those hems, but you can also use a zigzag stitch or a twin needle on your sewing machine. Hem both of the sleeves in the same manner that you did the bottom of the shirt with a 1-inch hem. And you're done. Turn your Excel t-shirt right side out, admire your gorgeous work, hand it over to your kids who are going to be ecstatic. Congratulations on completing your very own Youth Excel Tee. Please share photos of your make using the hashtag GSExcelT across all social media. We love to see what you've made and can't wait to hear from you. Happy sewing from all of us at Greenstyle.